Hello, my name is Akmal Shami bin Saidin, and on this video, I will talk about the COVID-19 effects on food industry. First, let me ask you questions. What do you know about the food industry? If you didn't know, then let me tell you about it. Food industry. The food industry is a complex global network of diverse business that supplies most of the food consumed by the world's populations. The term food industry covers a series of industrial activities directed at the production, distribution, processing, and packaging of the food stuff. I will give you some example of the food industry, like the agriculture, food processing, and food service, and many more. Okay, for the first effects of the COVID-19 on the food industry is making the restaurants reservation going low. The COVID-19 has led in a drastic shift in consumer demands away from the restaurants, food service, and other types of food consumed at home. By looking at the graph, we can see the restaurant reservation decline sharply in the March and become zero as lockdown were imposed by the government. The data that was shown on the graph includes online reservation, phone reservation, walk-ins at the restaurants. Okay, move on to the next COVID-19 effects on the food industry. As we can see, the graph show about the retail food demands. The graph show the frozen, and the packaged food in particular increased dramatically. At their peaks, in the second half of March, weekly sales of the frozen foods were 60% higher than the year before, while packaged food were 50% higher year on year in Germany. Similar demand spikes were seen in other countries. Following this initial spike, retail demands for fresh, frozen, and packaged food has remained about 50 to 20% higher than usual. Okay, move on to the next effects of the COVID-19 on the food industry. The workforce. The affected workforce in agriculture farm, food and beverages, and processing plants, and many more sectors on the food industry are analyzed to run the risk of promoting the outbreak of COVID-19. Because of that, many of the food industry uh, has fired their workers in order to prevent the outbreak of the COVID-19. Uh, Workforce can potentially affect the business plan and industrial production at the food and beverages. It also can affect the production of the in the sector of the agriculture, processing plant, and many more. Okay, move on to the last effects on our video today. The last effects of the COVID-19 on the food industry is the consumer uncertainties. The reluctance of consumers on the verge of growing outbreak of COVID-19 has led to major uncertainties in consumer demands. Various posts and false rumors on social media has affected the consumer and have influenced their perceptions toward a various of the food and beverage products. Furthermore, government initiative preventing the mass gathering as a preventive measure to curtail the spreading of the COVID-19 has also fueled the home dining trend among the customer. Okay, move on to the next slideshow. I will give you some solution tips in order to prevent the COVID-19 on getting to you. The first tip that you can use is always stay hygienic. Hygiene is very important to us. Before getting our food, we must wash our hand with soaps and wash very carefully in order to get rid of the bacteria that getting on our hands. It's always important to practice good hygiene when handling food in order to prevent any foodborne illness. The second tip that you can use is always cautious on your surroundings. Always cautious with your who you work or who you study with and who you eat with at the places that you go with, because we don't know about the COVID-19, because they can infect all the people surrounding us. The next tip is the health. I advise you, if your body unfeel well to works, I advise you to stay at home, because if your body don't feel well, it can increase the potentially COVID-19 effect on your body increase. Okay, move on to the last slide. I will end my video with some quotes by the Charles M. Safety first is always first. Safety is very important in order to prevent the problems that we don't want to occur in our life. We can prevent the problems from happens to us. Uh, Lastly, I want to thanks to all the people who watching my videos, and I hope to the people who watching my videos always in the greatest of your life. Thank you.